Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be going over something that might make it a little bit easier for you to feel safer about leaving your bike on your bike rack, especially if you have to go into the store real quick. One simple step can help prevent people from trying or thinking about stealing that bike of yours. Stay tuned and let's check it out. Okay, so that would be a nightmare for anybody to come back and see that your bike has gone off the rack. Quick release axle, we're going to replace with an axle you need an Allen key to remove, just for a little added security. There's a lot you can do to your bike rack, adding locks, chains, etc. to the bike as well to help keep it safe, but for this video we're just going to be installing this Kabolt X Axle, and we're going to go through the process of how to do it. First thing to do is to loosen your quick release or QR axle and go ahead and spin it out. Pull it out, drop your wheel right out. Now we're going to remove the bolt holding the floating axle in. Floating axle's right here. This little plastic piece I just pushed out. So we're going to remove that, pull this bolt right out. It's a 6mm Allen key. And then there's a little nut on the back of it too, and a washer that are all going to fall out here. So let's get the bolt out. One bolt. There's a little washer. Trying to get it out without dropping it in the grass. There's our washer. And then the back retaining bolt. This little piece of plastic right here comes right out. It's our floating axle. Okay, so your axle kit should have a washer in it. And we're going to replace the washer we took out with this washer and slide the bolt back through just very lightly. When you put your nut back in, make sure the flat part is going to be facing towards the front of the fork. Once that's kind of put back in, take your little washer, slide it up, the space in between, and then gently slide your bolt through, making sure you're not damaging anything as you're going on the way. I always like to do everything by hand first, make sure I'm not cross-threading or hurting anything. Get a couple threads on, that's good. Okay, so we're just going to put a little bit of grease on the axle so that way it doesn't seize up in there over time or get stuck. You don't need a lot, put a little bit on threads. Cool, and you want a really thin layer on it. Don't worry too much about the threads. When you start threading it in, it'll actually spread out the grease nice and evenly. So, but like I said, very, very thin layer of grease going around the whole axle. A little shaky shake. There we go. We can tighten her. Everything by hand first. Okay, once you've gotten a little snug, go ahead and get your torque wrench out. We're going to set the torque to 80 inch-pounds or 9 Newton meters. Hear the click, feel the click, you're done. Once you've torqued your axle in, we're going to take the bike out of the stand And then we're going to tighten the bolt for the floating axle with our torque wrench after cycling the suspension a couple times. So to cycle the suspension, simple, just okay, that's it. Now we're ready to tighten the bolt. Just lets the axle sit in that floating axle, so that way the legs of the fork don't squeeze in on each other. They stay more straight, so that prevents stiction from your stanchions. So we're going to tighten that bolt to 45 inch-pounds or 5.1 Newton meters. And it's still the same 6mm Allen key as it was for the side of the axle. Just go down to the front and torque her up. So most forks on the market do come with an option to have a regular axle installed that's not quick release or QR. It may be worth it to take a look into it, depending on where you live and how often you leave your bike unattended when on the back of your car. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something. If you get a chance, go out, ride that bike, hit the subscribe button. We'll see you next time.